this is where I learned about what y'all refer to as the Illuminati, right? Because many the people at BET, a lot of them, some of them came from Howard, some of them came from Brown University, right? And they was already a part of this, what y'all call Illuminati, the gay Boule, the secret society, whatever. A lot of them was already a part of it, and I was just getting introduced to it, um, not knowing exactly what it was, right? But now, by the time that I'm in getting introduced to it by ways of them trying to recruit me and get me to sell my soul, and that BET was mostly about the gay Boule, right? There's a lot of hosts that was on BET at that time that was secretly homosexuals, right? Um, Simultaneously, my peers in the music industry, they coming up. I'm learning that a lot of them have already been a part of this secret society, right? So Def Jam is probably the label that I would say that I recognize that a lot of the male rappers was closeted. I don't want to say closeted homosexuals, but they did homosexual activity to get to the next level. And those who were popular rappers that wouldn't succumb to the homosexuality, their career stopped right there, right? Case in point, remember when Nori used to always talk about the two doors in the industry and how they came to him and they tried to get Nori to go through these two doors, and he denied it, and he said that he never went platinum again. Nori will be the epitome of a person back then. I ain't talking about now where he at with his career, because he got it. He came to them doors again in the podcast world, but as a rapper, he came to those doors, and being younger back then, you know, well, for me, I still stand on integrity. Like, so, but for a lot of us back then, you know, niggas was freaked out by that proposal, right? So when Nori, he tells y'all back then, oh, it's two doors to this industry. He's a gay door, and then there's this other door. I'm pretty much sure a lot of y'all are privy to him, that interview he did, right? You don't hear him talk about that no more now, do you? That's another story. I ain't gonna get into that right now, right? Um, but Def Jam was run by a dude that many of y'all may not believe is a homosexual because he got a wife and uh he's not of our color, right? But a lot of rappers that went through the Def Jam system gave into it. Most of the ones that is the most successful at Def Jam, those guys are undercover homosexuals, right? And I, they may not be, uh, you know, how some people say, "Oh, I knew I was gay when I was little. I was born gay." A lot of these guys was gay for the pay, gay to get to the executive level or to get to the next level of their career. Like Nori said, when he said no, he never went platinum again, right? So what I know about the industry now is, back then, even these labels would be buying records, right? To make you bigger than what you are. And paying radio and paying publicists and paying to get you the cover of magazines, this, that, and other. But this all came from those people who gave up their jaws or their back pockets, if you get what I'm saying, right? Now, there are artists, and I don't want to say no names because a lot of artists have told me, their story personally. So I know this it for a fact, but I don't want to say their names because, um, let's just say I agreed not to out their story because they asked me to. Yo, Choke, I'm gonna tell you, man, but you can't say nothing. Right. So I'm gonna be a man of my word and not say nothing. But a lot of the artists at Def Jam, and you got to remember, Russell Simmons left Def Jam. What year was that? I can't remember what year Russell left Def Jam, right? But um, when Russell left Def Jam, somebody else took over, right? I ain't gotta say their name. If you know hip hop history, you know what it is, right? But a lot of Def Jam artists got indecent proposals. A lot of them was like, hell no. And that's where their career ended, like Nori, right? And then there's a lot of them that was like, okay. And they became multi-platinum artists, and they are some of the biggest artists in the world, even today, right? Whether they got a wife, whether they got kids, and I know y'all gonna say, oh man, that nigga married, man, that nigga got kids, that nigga's not gay. Okay, bisexual. I'm not saying that they are one way. All I'm saying is that they gave in to the proposal to advance in a career, right? You heard Fat Joe say, yo, there was a gay mafia in hip hop. But when you look at him today, is he saying that? Is he's prospering? Is he getting to the White House and all that, all that other stuff today? Okay, all right. So some of these rappers were more street back then, and when that stuff was presented to them, they was like, "Get the f out of here." They got a second, uh, what do you call it? Like a second win, I would say, right? Or a second chance because they became successful in their later in their lives, right? And was presented with the same exact proposal. And this time they took it, right? So that they can be in the rooms and amongst the oh God, I wish I could just say niggas' names. Um, so that they can be amongst these other rappers and that achieve multi-platinum success. So when you see artists do stuff that you would consider funny style, or gay or whatever, or dressing a certain way, no, straight off the top, they down with it, right? Especially if they selling millions and millions and millions of records. Because remember, what I know now is a lot of these niggas didn't. Every record sale that they got wasn't by a fan. Some of these record sales are from the label buying records wholesale or whatever, just so they could ship these dudes platinum, and they probably bought 300,000 records, right? Just to make them this big celebrity or whatever, because it's like streaming. How these dudes buy numbers or buy streams to make themselves look like, they getting all these views and they getting all these numbers, this, that, and the other.